welcome you to Baseball Night in America. And on this Saturday night, we take it to America's heartland. Two of the great teams in baseball history. The New York Yankees pay their first visit to Busch Stadium since back in 2014 to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Standings for both teams very important right now. How about as it stands right now in the American League? The Yankees, despite their recent slide, they hold a half-game advantage over the Astros for the best record in the league. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals side of things, in the National League Central right now, a tie with Milwaukee for the top spot in the division. Of course, the Redbirds trying to stay out of any type of wild card scenario. We welcome you inside. Aaron Goldsmith alongside the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. And John, as we just saw with the standings, although both teams are in a good position right now, this is no time to let up for either side.
No, if you're the Yankees, you're having a monster year. You want to finish it off by having the best record in the American League, so your chances of going to the World Series are greater. If you're the Cardinals, you just want to guarantee a series. You don't care which it is, but division winner would be awfully nice.
Now, there's no question about that. In this ballpark tonight, we very well might be looking at the most valuable player of each league. Two guys who have just been simply on fire since the start of the season. Of course, we're talking about Aaron Judge and Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, you know what, Aaron Judge, everyone thought he must be crazy turning down that contract. Well, who's crazy now? When you see the numbers that Aaron Judge has put up, he is on his way to a monster year, and hopefully he can stay healthy because he's a big reason why the Yankees have been great. On the other side, Paul Goldschmidt has been a monster, a silent monster, because that's the way he plays. He's having an MVP-type season, and look for these two guys to represent their teams, not only individually, but collectively into the playoffs.
If you needed more storylines between these two franchises, how about the Cardinals starting pitcher tonight? Maybe the most surprising deal at the deadline. Moments before the deadline, Jordan Montgomery going from the Yankees to the Cardinals just days ago. And tonight he makes his Cardinals debut against his former team. We'll hear more about that from Ken Rosenthal. On the other side, we've got Baseball Night in America from St. Louis. It's the Yankees and the Cardinals coming up next on Fox. On the banks of the mighty Mississippi, inside Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, 91 degrees, humidity. You know, it feels like 59. Maybe even a little higher. A little bit of a breeze. One of the great storylines in this game tonight, Jordan Montgomery taking the field for the first time in something other than a Yankees uniform. And for more on tonight's Cardinals starting pitcher, we go down to the field and say hello to Ken Rosenthal.
Aaron, perhaps no player in the majors was more surprised to be traded than Jordan Montgomery. He got the news about 10 to 15 minutes before the deadline, summoned to manager Aaron Boone's office with general manager Brian Cashman on speakerphone. Montgomery, though, was not the only one shocked. His fiancée, Mackenzie Durr, is a fourth-year medical student specializing in dermatology. The day before, she had started something called an away rotation, a tryout of sorts, at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Her plan was to do her residency in the city, and Montgomery described her as pretty devastated by his sudden relocation.
Kenny, it's quite the story, and Jordan Montgomery will have to learn on the fly with his new ball club. A very good starting pitcher traded at the deadline. We can see his numbers, 21 starts, a 3.69, what he did in pinstripes this year, John.
Yeah, you got to know he knows his teammates, but he never thought he would be facing them, especially in this year. And he's a guy that has a really good breaking ball, changeup, cutter, fastball, and he's going to try to keep the ball in the ballpark. And what better place to do it here than his other confines at Yankee Stadium? So there's the breakdown: sinker, changeup, curveball, occasional four-seamer, and cutter. And he's trying to get used to not only his new digs, but face his former team.
We'll see how this works out for Montgomery. Certainly an odd feeling it must be for Jordan Montgomery. He's facing some guys he knows really well. This very deadly Yankees starting lineup. It leads off with DJ LeMahieu. He's reached in 23 of his last 25 games. He's having a fantastic year. We all know about Aaron Judge, the front runner for the American League MVP. He leads all of baseball, 43 home runs. Donaldson, a first-year Yankee, then Gleyber Torres at second base. The former Cardinal, Matt Carpenter, getting his sixth start of the season against a left-handed starting pitcher. Aaron Hicks is in left. Another first-year Yankee, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, yet to hit a home run this year for New York. But that's not what he was brought on to do. He's been fantastic defensively. Plenty of speed in center field with Temple Castro, who starts. And Kyle Higashioka does the catching and bats ninth. Blue skies overhead, warm but overall pleasant for this time of year in St. Louis. Tonight the middle game of 3. Last night a thrilling come from behind victory for the Cardinals in front of a full house. Another max capacity crowd expected tonight.